Are you there, Bo?
I'm here.
All right, that's probably enough waiting. Um, thank you to everybody who sent me, all the well wishes and prayers. I appreciate that, and my family does as well. And it's always great to know that we're part of a wonderful community, and that's part of the point of the whole club, right? Um, we're all here for each other, I think, and that's again, this is about more than making money. Um, but let's talk about making money. So, so we've got a lot going on, and a lot's been going on, um, even while I was away. I point out, there's a lot of people that are prematurely, kind of worried about pricing and open markets and arbitrage and so forth. And I would just say, stay calm, because we didn't even start yet. We what we're doing with Uniswap is really just beginning to launch this contract. Get the contract correct, and we've made some great strides there. So we should have the new contract report from TechRate back tomorrow, and we'll let you know what that says. So that's all good. The verification process is coming along, and I think that we'll see things really pick up on those two fronts here this week, and then of course we've got a Mirex following. So then we'll get started, right? And again, the whole point here is, really remember we're not in this for a quick flip. That was never what it was. But even if that was the game, um, the game's not to get involved in the friends and family round and get out, at the first step of, the public debut. Because really, I'm telling you, that's just the beginning. So um, you were in on 3 levels of a ground floor, and now we've got, the best is yet to come. Because again, our team, and I'm not disparaging any other teams or any other projects that are out there. But really, again, we come at this from a venture capital perspective. We have plans. When I tell you we're going to get to 10,000 holders, that's what's going to happen. We've done it with public companies. We're do it with this. It's not a problem, and we can do it through acquisition and merger and collaboration and all of the corporate negotiation work that we're very good at. So this is the part where we do very well. So graphics and websites not has not always been our forte, but we've got a great team. We've added to the team now, the same group that did our AWRT build out, which I think everybody loved. For that website is on full time to do all the build out for the club and all of the mini sites and all the white papers.
Yeah.
So super excited about all that, and of course we've got so much to build on that front, even as we build landing pages and stuff for the performance. As that movie rolls out and the NFTs really start kicking off. There's a ton going on there. But were there any other particular questions or anything that you wanted me to get into before I
nothing's shown up yet in the chat side, so I'd say let's get into it. I'm sure the questions will come. Yeah, I would say let's get it kicked off and let them start coming.
Yeah. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and swap your old AWRT for your new, because that's something you're going to want to have in hand as we do the founders NFTs and so forth. And one of the things that's kind of a good thing through this whole shakeout period is that you really find out who the founders are. So who's rowing in the same direction, which is great. But there's going to be a lot of other options too, other than hitting the bid. So one of the things we've been looking at is dark pools for large blocks, so that people can anonymously place sell orders and buy orders for large amounts outside the market, inside our exchange. That way it doesn't affect the bid price or anything else. So that's something that we're considering. It's not something that we have decided on, and we're looking at different bot technologies for stuff like that. So it's a little difficult, but
Well, we we,
it is.
we hinted on this the last AMA, and it's something that I think probably deserves a little bit more attention, which is, even how to trade in the middle. You don't have to necessarily hit the bid or the ask for that matter, but there's plenty of room there in the middle to be able to work out of a position and trade. And now that you're back, it's probably time, this week, maybe next week, to do kind of a tutorial on just some trading fundamentals that maybe a lot of people aren't aware of. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are, and maybe it'll be a good overview for some and a good education for others.
Well, we have a marketing campaign that's going to be going out, and so maybe what we'll do is we'll set up kind of a club explanation, so we can go over the AWB, for example, reward model, so that people can, and we can use real time, real dates, and real distribution numbers, based on HQ Express that's coming and velocity that's coming. So maybe what we'll do, Bo, is we'll set up kind of like an interim AMA, like in the middle of the day, that we can tape and then post back up, maybe even with some video or something. We have all those capabilities at the office with the podcast stuff. So maybe we'll try that out and see how it goes. No guarantees on quality, but
Carl
the
Sagan video, like the cosmos.
Well, I mean, I guess the point here is, like, I want the new people to understand, that when you get the 2000 for one distribution of HQ Express, like, for example, HQ Express is really WeWork meets industrial flex space, and we're in the process right now of redoing an actual 200,000 square feet or 200,000 square foot warehouse in Pennsylvania, in this model, for HQ Express. So we can show some visuals of what all that looks like. So that's easy enough to do. And then, more importantly, economically, we can show what that distribution means. And if you look at the valuations on WeWork, which is, really just Class A office space, and compare that to the need for industrial flex space, and really more mixed use commercial. I think I think people will kind of get the hint that this is potentially bigger than WeWork, as we build this out. And so to be involved with, involved with that on the ground floor is, that's not some meme coin, that you might be trying to jump into.
I mean, the history of shipping is showing us that more and more everything is just-in-time shipping right now, whether it's through Amazon or some other last-minute provider. I mean, that everything is arriving just in time, and as a result, you need flex space to be able to warehouse it and then quickly access and get it back out on the road. And that's the state of that market at the moment.
Yeah, so we have the warehouse, and we have the the overland asset. And we might build some other mixed reality, capabilities and AR capabilities there. But what we can certainly do is geolocate, loads of material in that structure. And what we're playing with is, we've got some good architect / design, graphic design people who are awesome in the metaverse that are doing some work for us. So we're testing them out with some of the game pieces, some of the stuff we're building. But like I said, we're in the metaverse because we're interested in the business use case. So when you get to buy or you get to involve with HQ Express, you'll see that one of the crypto plays there is the cubic square feet. So the H cube cubic square feet of flex space, and that's it's a very interesting model, and that distribution as things go forward here is that's the ground floor of not just the next crypto. It's not just the next wallet. In other words, everything that we built is really again, it's really a tool, the exchange, the NFT exchange, to get to the business, right? Because underlying everything we're doing is, really core business that makes sense in the current markets, whether it's getting gold and palladium and, silver out of recycled material, or it's the industrial flex space. It's, it all has a purpose. So,
I would
and
I would go even one step further on that one, Alfonso. I mean, if you look at the use case that we're putting behind, not just the founders NFTs, but the second round of some of these NFTs that we're talking about, where I can't tell you how many opportunities and things we've looked at over the years that if the asset was tied, or if the investment was tied to the actual asset instead of the equity of the company, like you can do with an NFT. Um, everybody's world would be a whole lot different right now. And that's what we're knocking on the door of, right? I mean, that's what we're getting ready to roll out, and that's far more exciting to me than any 2-bit rock or grotesque monkey. Um, but that's
yeah,
me.
but I mean, again, but all that stuff is, those are all, don't kid yourself. All that, all of those players in that space they're not they're not only in it for the art, they're in it for the business use case at the end of the game, right? So they're testing, these things, for their business use case. You just don't know what they are yet. I'm sure
Yeah, no, listen, I'm
all,
not
all that'll
knocking
be
Ape and
revealed.
Cons. They did
Yeah.
what, both of them did. What was it, like 890 million last year, and about $1 billion. So yeah, no, not criticizing at all. But
No, I'm not
I'm
saying.
saying for me,
Yeah.
it's the what we're talking about, changes the way finance is done. In a real meaningful way. That really goes well beyond protecting the investor and the investment. Beyond any legislative tomfoolery
No, I know. I get what you're saying,
or
and
ballyhoo.
we've talked about it. It's again, and our education is one that was very expensive because of all kinds of different mistakes, right? So, so we've what Bo's alluding to is a project that where we're waiting for FDA approval for medical device that we were told when we first got involved, hey, this is something that's going to be done in 30 days. All we need is the bridge. If you can get us in, and this inventor was a prolific, let's just put it that way, 100 plus, things, that invented, and some of which were used in just routine, cardiac surgeries. Just prolific. No reason not to believe it. So we helped to pare down the costs, and so forth, and we got involved from a structural standpoint, and floated the expenses, and then 1 month turned into 2, turned into 4, turned into 6. FDA slow rolling, so forth and so on, and then unfortunately 2 years later, after we had liquidated hotels and other things to keep it going, unfortunately the scientist and doctor, who also was a great guy, by the way, passed away, and then it became an estate situation, and then it also became a, hey, my partner has an interest apparently in this patent, and so forth and so on. So who actually owns it? And what Bo's getting at is, man, if that patent was already wrapped into an NFT and it was on the blockchain, and we already knew that our money had locked it down, we wouldn't have been contending with all kinds of people who crawl out of the woodwork, at a time like that, because the royalty could be built into a smart contract that lasts forever. Period. Done. And so we've learned from our mistakes, and we want to be able to translate that knowledge into profit for the rest of our club, and the stuff that we that we do know relative to that, I think will be really valuable to everybody moving forward. So we're excited about all of that, and that's I think that's what you were alluding to, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, among other things, right? I mean, there's just fantastic opportunities that come to us every day from the VC side. You hang that shingle and people show up, and you look at it and you think, well, it's an interesting deal, but I don't really love your equity structure, or you look like the kind of person that likes new cars and fancy desks, but boy, your technology's cool, and if I can that, at the end of the day, then the management risk is a different it's a different equation at that point.
Yeah.
Things don't necessarily rise and fall based on the day-to-day management of the company. There are some questions rolling in right now. Do you want to finish
my rant,
your
as
opening
Sebastian would
salvo,
say?
or do
Yeah,
you
my
want to?
rant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the point is that we've got a bunch of NFTs that are structurally, interesting, that are coming out. Right. So one is we had a lot of interest from members who said, hey, I'm heavy in AWRT. I'd rather be heavy in AWB. I didn't know that at the beginning. And vice versa, and so forth, and even some people who have other assets. So we're coming out with a swap NFT. They're going to be limited in number, but the owner it's going to entitle the owner to be able to swap any club token on the club exchange, and we'd be able to facilitate that in the back office. So we'll explain all that as it rolls out, but I wanted to make sure that tool was there, so that people didn't get stuck saying, well, I've got to sell this to get into this, and then hopefully I can have enough for the new issuance or something. So this, I think, will help. It's a pretty smart little tool that then when you're done with it, if you're not going to be swapping anymore, you can put it up on the exchange for somebody else to buy. So it should have resale value as it goes, because they'll be limited in number, and we'll be increasing the number of members, of course, and and holders of these particular tokens. So if that's something that's of interest, keep your eyes open, because over the next couple days, those will be offered as part of what we're doing here with the new pairings as well too. So staking is a big part of this first quarter, and we've got the deckhand, and we've got a couple of other things, the Captain NFT, which entitles people to some additional value, and some other things from an NFT standpoint that allow you to to do some other things inside the club. So keep an eye out. All that stuff's going to be announced this week as we start to make changes to the main club site, which we got to see some some renderings of here today, and it looks, so far it looks great, and very intuitive and sleek. So liking what we're seeing, and there's a lot to come. So the only other thing I would say, yeah, go ahead, Bo. I guess maybe just let's get the question.
No,
So it's not
no, no. Let's get the last. Let's hit the last. Let's get the Columbo closed. One more
Oh,
thing, and then let's get after it.
I was going to say, I want to get everybody together on, kind of a, I guess maybe a round table, and weigh in on, kind of our next charitable, adventure here too, that I think we should get wrapped up here in the next week or two, and figure out what it is, that we're doing next, because I know we've got that project in Guatemala that you were looking at with another member, and we've got some other things that people have presented. So let's see what we can do on that front as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, that to me is, somebody had asked me about that the other day. They said, what's a good time? I said, that is something I always have time for. I mean, that's what keeps my kind of clock ticking, frankly.
Well, that's the whole point too. And then I think we should also check in, and that was one of the things that I don't know if we got to yet, but I think you're going to be updating the social media more and more with some of the updates for what we've already, given, from a charitable standpoint in the, in Venezuela with the water and, some of the other things we've been involved with. So
I'm actually going to be meeting with Pastor Orlando this week. So, I'll do a video and get an update on that. And, just, the stuff that's happening as a result of what we did there, is important, and it's impactful for a whole community, and, really generationally what it allows people to do when you solve a basic need, when you don't have to think about where you're getting water and if it's clean and all that, you have more time to think about more productive, things, and that of course leads to, better, better humanity, which, helps
yeah,
everybody, helps the
absolutely.
world.
Well, I was hoping to have our charitable pieces in place, for your, for that convention that you're at down there now in Florida. And unfortunately, we've got so many things going on and so many moving pieces that we didn't get, anything from a presentation standpoint ready. So, but that doesn't mean that we can't still do good work.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. All right, so to the questions. For founder NFTs, we have to have the AWRT on the exchange, or will private wallets suffice? And then you may want to just hit on that point again, that new contract versus old contract, and where that lands people with the founders NFTs.
Yeah. So we've got to send in um, the old AWRT to the burn wallet and get the new, and that's the first step. And then, as long as you've done that, then we're good. Then we'll know what you got.
All right. So regardless of which exchange it's on, then.
Regardless. Yep.
Okay. Any updates on the AWBTE Christmas special?
Yes. So that will be announced tomorrow. We have come up with a sleeker and less expensive play that accomplishes the same economics for being able to cash into gold, silver, palladium, or a basket, and also continually recycle when you buy. So, but what we're going to do is, instead of the AWBTE, which was confusing and expensive for people at $460, we are coming out with an adjusted price point on Scrap token. And we're going to be merging the two. So all the economics of that will be explained as we're also starting to prepare like the microsites for things like the Scrap tokens. So we'll get on that tomorrow so that everybody understands how that swap will work, and it's going to be a whole lot more exciting and a whole lot more dynamic, because you're not going to be able to just trade it for precious metals. We're also looking at carbon credits. Other things that are naturally created in this function. So that's really exciting. And it's going to take us. It looks like it's going to take us a little longer for the carbon credits. The metals are day one type of thing. But we'll be adding to the back end of what those things. And again, this comes into NFTs and stuff as well, so it'll be able to be paired with different different
Well,
opportunities.
the other thing that's really exciting about it is it allows us to tell I know that we were talking about it before, but this really allows us to nail down that, recycling story, which, like I said early on, I mean, we're casting a very wide net here in the club, between games and recycling and carbon credits and things like that. But all of these things, have just massive markets and market appeal. So, it's important, and getting that part right, I think, is the most important. So when that launch comes, it's well received by the intended audience.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not only that, but also it solves a need in the industry, which we'll get into. We'll explain how the exchange works, and also how the refining company works, and so forth, in more detail as we move forward. But these are all things we're invested in anyway. So, like, years ago, prior, to being involved in crypto at all, precious metal was always part of our strategy. And it should be part of everybody's strategy moving forward from an investment standpoint. So this is this is something that helps you in these inflationary times, and we're in weird times. This isn't just inflation. This is manipulation, and there's all kinds of
Yeah.
we're
Facebook lost $260 billion on Friday, right? I mean,
yeah.
that's a pretty decent hickey for one day.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're in. This is a battle, and we're. The whole point of our club is to come out of the other end together and safe with our head above water. So.
All right. So when is USHX and GiveBucks moving to the next round?
When we come out with HQ Express and Velocity, and that's going to be shortly.
All right. Any ETA on fixing the buying crypto in the store? Also, deckhand staking buy page.
Yeah. So the deckhand staking buy page, and also the tracking for staking is all still being fixed. We've got. They're actually playing with different code, I think, to see what's best. They're playing with different functions, I guess. So we'll see how it shakes out, but you should see it over the next couple of days here, wrapped up. You'll see the store get a lot more intuitive and cleaned up as well.
Yeah, this is a good question. Is there a plan for AWRT and subsequent public release projects, USHX, GiveBucks, etc., to have their own separate Twitter and Telegram accounts?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes. So we went through that process with verification and with TechRate and so forth. So we've got a lot of notes, and the answer is yes on all those fronts. Along with, did that person ask about Telegram? Because
they did. Yeah, it looks like we should have that up here in a day or so.
Yeah, so we'll have a Telegram for AWRT, and then we're also adding all those individually for each token that's launching off on its own. And then for the native tokens, like AWB, that is something that we'll have kind of a mini page for on the site that has the look and feel of the AWRT website, but isn't really out on its own.
Right. All right. So, what are the marketing plans to help really increase buying volume? When can we expect big marketing pushes for third-party exchanges or bring in more retail buyers?
With Amirex. So the next step is we'll see the Etherscan updates. We'll see all that process, and then TechRate, and then post TechRate we'll see Amirex, and then the push. And again, we're also going to be doing some. We're also going to be doing some, straight up good old fashioned M&A. I've always found it, better to, we're not going to. Let me just back up. We're not going to just rely on promotion. Put it that way. We'll do marketing and so forth, but we've got actual, corporate, M&A plans for the process. So.
All right. 1 second. That was the. Jump back here into the main page. All right. So those were those questions. That was those questions. Okay. So going to the metaverse. We put out that video last week. Do you want to talk to that point at all, or? I know we talked about it with HQ Express and.
Well, I think it might confuse. Yeah, I think it might confuse things. So I'm just going to leave it at, we are in the metaverse, for exploratory purposes. And, and the assets, that we have there are certainly, um, they're certainly valuable and so forth. But I don't want to confuse people because the whole point here is to develop business use case. So we're in the metaverse to glean what is useful in business, and that'll be translated into the projects that we do and the collaborations that we do. What I will tell you is that some of the collaborations that we're looking at on the NFT side are awesome. Some of these guys have a 250,000 followers that are pretty dynamic. And so some of the stuff we've got planned for AWRT, for example, and some of the builds, because again, that's the gas for the metaverse work that we're doing, and the NFT exchange. That's it's all. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. So, but it's again, those are business deals. Those are transactional. More so than they are promotional. So, and that's what's going to add actual real value anyway, long term. So, what I would say too is, not to be overly concerned with, temporary price points. It's not the concern right now. It shouldn't be because, if we, honestly, and I'm not, I guess I probably shouldn't say it, but if we wanted this to be higher, it'd be higher. It's just we're not out there focused on focused on price at this point right now. Right now, we're focused on getting the next steps done, making sure that the fundamentals are secure, and we're actually focused on the actual business behind everything, which is kind of the more important part. So.
Yeah, I mean that'll be the engine that drives the whole thing forward going forward. As far as Ken and the Give Bucks GTA contest, yeah, that was I apologize to everybody on that front. Apparently, that was set up by a third party group that Ken works with. That I guess never just got it all together. But
where's Ken at? Is he on here?
No, that's
Ken can jump on and apologize.
Absolutely. I'm here, brother. I'm here, gentlemen.
Yeah. What happened with that, man?
I didn't. So two things I heard, and I should get from Joy. Somebody won something, but apparently there was a bunch of people. I guess, again, I don't play the game. I wasn't on the game that week. I'm not in it, but I wasn't on it that day. But apparently someone won, but I got a bunch of calls saying some people couldn't get in, and I guess they didn't know which package or which server to buy. But then I heard that it was okay. So I guess I better go back and find out the real story and exactly how many people had issues. I heard there was a video, so I'll get the video of whoever won the contest, and that's kind of all. But I've been busy the last couple of days.
Yeah, just explain real quick for everybody on. It's really like a third party group, right, of gamers that gets together that put this together. Right, I don't think it was.
So they have their, I guess they call them guilds. So there was a particular guild or clan, whatever you want to call it, that was putting a contest on to win GiveBucks because they're played on the GiveBucks server. That had that on the GiveBucks set of servers, which included now the AWB, and I think that there was a couple other things on there. I think there was some signage for Mad Hatter and a couple other ones. Again, I wasn't in the game, but I did see some of the screenshots because they asked me for the assets to be put into the game. But the whole purpose of it was branding for AWB. It was an AW jump, an AW map, but the prize was in GiveBucks. Nobody can give away AWB or anything in active world besides you guys. So we didn't promise anybody anything. It was more just exposure to AWB, and people had to find their way to the jump spot by way of QR code. So when I saw the demo, and I've seen this before with other challenges that they have, whether it's a flying challenge or any other challenge. So it's real simple. You log into the server. It tells you go to waypoint number 1 on the corner of such and such street and such, and you scan the QR code, and that's what took you to the next waypoint or the next location, and which gave you another clue to go find where the AWB jump was. And that was pretty much it. Like I said, I'll get the video to find out who won, first place, I guess, and then that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. I don't know, and then I do remember because I saw in this channel there was a couple people that had I think it was KG that had a problem getting on, but I didn't find out anything after that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Well,
I think there was a couple of people, but I think look, net is we're going to get it figured out, and so
it'll be
whether we do it through this guild or clan or group of whatever they want to call themselves, I think the
Well,
good news
eventually,
we're figuring
yeah,
out how to get
eventually
onto it ourselves.
yeah, eventually we'll just have our own. I mean, we just were. I made the announcement just so that people can see and want to participate in this particular game. I heard actually, and I think I may have told you this, Bo, before. It actually probably was a little bit of an unfair challenge because a brand new person coming into the game may not have been able to compete with someone who had a super hyped up supercharger car or whatever, and that's probably not the right way to introduce it if you're going to have a fair challenge. So we
gotcha.
can write our
Well,
own.
we'll refine all that stuff. But the good news is we had a ton of interest. We got a lot of emails from it, and people want to do it. And I think that these tournaments in the future will be a lot of fun. So I think
Yeah, no, people win real money. It's real give bucks get given away or real AWB in the future, whatever. Yeah, people get on there and play. We pay a lot of money in these in these contests.
awesome. How's everything else going with the GiveBucks launch and the sales side of things? You signed some new you signed some great new national brands, right?
Yeah, we did. I'm super excited about it. I went myself. I did a test. The first one didn't work. I had to go back and do a little coding. One of the brands I'm super excited about, and so I'm actually hoping tomorrow when I go there, meeting with the manager, everything's good. It's coded right, and it works, so we can put it live on the platform. And that was Nordstrom's. So Nordstrom's is one of the new participating merchants, which is a pretty big brand, a pretty big department store.
That's huge. And we have we have Airbnb, right, already.
Yes, that's like same, yeah, like Airbnb we have, Nordstrom's have. We just got Five Guys as well. Um, Five Guys didn't work either. So the most important thing is getting approved and tweaking it. I just kind of make these little announcements ahead of time to let you guys know we're active and we're working. But make no mistake about it, we will get it done. And it never takes more than the same thing happened with CVS pharmacies. Same thing happened with CPK, California Pizza Kitchen, and it just doesn't always work the first time you go. So the coders, I let the coders do what they do best, and they've never let me down. You can just look at all the brands that have been in the app. There, it's gone through testing, and eventually it works. And it's never taken more than a week to figure out what the problem is ever on any brand.
So one of the things for everybody on the line, as we go forward, we're refining and continuing to refine the GiveBucks use case, and the rewards inside of how the current GiveBucks app works. And that's going to be important, because you're going to be able to learn how to earn and spend crypto in, well, I mean, we'll be able to earn, and be able to spend in stores, so that's going to be an exciting development, here in pretty recent future, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, shortly. So, and I think again, NFTs are going to play a big role here. This is the next couple of days. We'll start to explain a little bit more of how to get active there, and so forth. So, and the whole point, again, with GiveBucks too, is the charitable side, and and tithing and being able to give back, and so that's why we really are integrating that into our plans for the future of what we're doing here, because even if you funded your GiveBucks wallet with Zelle, for example, and used GiveBucks to buy AWB in the Gibbucks or in the AWB merchant store for Gibbucks on the app, a portion of that goes to charity, right? So,
Right.
that's an awesome function, as well as if you go to Applebee's or all those other places. So it makes it easy, and it's an awesome platform. So it's a big part of the future of what we're planning here, and we're excited about it. So anyway, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Ken. I know we didn't tell you
No, there's never a spot. We're all on the same team, gentlemen. So we work through issues, and we one at a time we knock them down. Our long-term game plan is here. I'm excited to even once I get over these two merchants, I'm excited about the Delta. We got our first airlines, Delta Airlines, which is a big time deal. And but I didn't want to put too much pressure on the team. I let them get these two issues resolved, and then we'll jump out on Delta. I would say before Super Bowl, all these brands will be live in the app. These three latest brands, if not by Wednesday.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
allowed
great.
to give anybody any dates anymore, Ken. So
No, you're not.
at least, but
Oh.
since Bo didn't cut you off, that means that you must be on to something.
Yeah. It's a good thing I was reading something else, Ken. Otherwise, you would have gotten the big red button too. Everybody's getting the big red button from now on. All right. So, switching gears here for a second on the Saitama giveaway and some of the questions that came up throughout the week. Alfonso, did you have a chance to look at any of that, or again, I know over the weekend you were dealing with some bereavement issues and things there. So if not, maybe we'll tackle that later in the week.
Yeah, let's plan on getting on that. Again, we'll come out with some announcements via blog and stuff here for the NFTs and some of these giveaways over the next day or two, either tomorrow or going into Wednesday. And then worst case scenario, we'll talk about it Wednesday night on the AMA. There's going to be more ways to win. Again, also there are some companies out there. There's some some of these other NFT plays that we're doing collaborations with that will also have ways for you to win. Some other assets and really some really neat prizes. So we're putting all that together. That's all part of our promotional build here. So.
All right. Well, if there's not anything else, and I'm only looking in the questions portion right now, let me just take a quick scan over the other. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it looks like that's that. So let everybody get back to it on Monday. We're going to swing back around on Wednesday then and follow up.
Yeah, let's follow up on Wednesday, and then sometime this week we'll have an update on USHX and the whole game plan there with the house giveaways and so forth. To see where Mario has solidified, and and then we'll come full circle on the game plan there. So.
Yeah, not on the token side, but I know that they're in the process. If they didn't launch it already, that they're in the process of launching their newest version of their site, and then of course that'll come out with its own token site and so on as we get ready for the eventual kind of spinning out to the bigger markets. So that'll be good.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, have a good night.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.